I like to confess that I'm a sex addict, and I think about sex every second of the day, pretty much.
So Lucas, what would you like to confess to today?
Well, today I want to confess that actually, apart from my mum and my dad, nobody knows that I was in prison for a few years.
What was the crime?
I went to prison for the robbery. This is the way I was making money back in Poland, you know.
When I was at high school, I got nearly caught kissing one of my teachers.
I would like to confess that one time when I was driving my car off the drive, I accidentally got a bit too close to my brother's brand new Seat Ibiza and scratched the side of it and led him to believe that it was done in a car park.
I actually remember that scratch as well.
You thought it was done in Aldi and it wasn't. I did it like 2 weeks before that.
This is the first time you've heard this?
Yeah, like I knew it was like a significant scratch as well. It wasn't like a little scratch. It's like the size of your hand.
I can't believe I've never told you that.
So what do you think? What would they say?
If someone's going to see this from my family, so like I'll put my hands up, you know, I've done the mistake in my life, but I'm doing well now, and I don't know, I'm just sorry that I was not able to let you guys know.
I recently got scammed out of a foot pic. So I get like a lot of random messages on Instagram asking me stupid things like, do you need a sugar daddy, or can you send me a foot pic if I send you money? I've had that a lot, and last week I was struggling financially, so I hit up one of these guys and I was like, do you still need foot pics? And he was like, yeah, and he convinced me that I needed to send one picture of my feet, and then he would pay me money, and then I would send more pictures and we'd be rich. But I ended up sending him a foot pic and getting absolutely nothing out of it, apart from feeling a bit violated and embarrassed.
I would like to confess today that I burst into tears every day after work when I get home. And this is something I haven't spoken to anyone.
So I'd like to confess how I lost my virginity. It's a little bit wild, so I haven't told anyone this yet. Basically, we're on holiday, went out with the hotel reps, and I lost my virginity in a foursome with, two other guys and a girl.
I like to confess that I'm a sex addict, and I think about sex every second of the day, pretty much.
And how does that manifest itself in relationships?
See, so like I've never had a relationship before because I'm scared of commitment, and I have big trust issues as well. So it doesn't really happen. So it's just mainly one-night stands.
I lost my virginity at 11 years old, and not many people know. I don't think anyone knows.
So 11 years old, how did it happen so young for you?
I was unsure of my sexuality. Deep down I probably knew I was gay, and I didn't live in that much of an accepting area. In order to find out if I was actually gay or not, I thought I might as well try sleeping with the girl. And since then I've been living as an openly proud gay man.
My biggest regret is the resentments I carried towards my parents. Both of my parents were heroin dealers and heroin addicts. I was raised in it. They brought me into crime, and I was kind of left to just raise myself. I've come to realize that it weren't my parents' behavioral fault that led me into a life of crime. It was my choices. I didn't get a chance to say how I felt to my parents because they both died of heroin overdose while I was in prison. I just want to say sorry, Mum and Dad. Yeah, and I love you guys. I love you.
A couple of Friday nights ago, unfortunately I went out, got a bit too drunk maybe, made the mistake of eating a spaghetti bolognese before I went out. Gone out, thought I'd let loose what I thought was a safe little fart, ended up sharting in my white boxers. All of the girls around me started dispersing, going, what's that smell? Luckily, my mate had walked off at the time, so I was like, oh, it's definitely him, that's disgusting. Ran off to the toilets, made myself a little nappy, straight back out, did what I do best, pulled a bird and took it back to the Premier Inn.
Today I'd like to confess that in high school I struggled a lot with eating disorders and self-esteem issues. And then when I came to uni and I tried drugs, I found out it was a way to keep my weight at a standard at which I liked and work to suppress my appetite. And because of that, I got really dependent on them, and I ended up spending a vast amount of money on them, and I've never really admitted to anyone how much I've actually spent on the drugs.
I'd like to confess today, I'm an ex-career criminal arrested for the largest importation of cannabis into the country back in the day. And I've seen the devastating effect that it's had on children, grown-ups, communities. And because I participated in that, I'm here today to say I'm extremely sorry to any person who received anything that I sold. I humbly ask for your forgiveness today, and I'm really sorry.
I'm ex-military and I'm now a teacher, and I suffer from anxiety and depression.
If you had a message for someone that's going through something similar to what you've been through, what would that be?
I think you've got to find someone to talk to. I'm so lucky. In my darkest days, I think when it was really bad and I didn't think there was any way out of it, I had my family and my wife and my daughter, and if they weren't there, I'd have been in trouble.
Something I'd like to confess today is that I'm bisexual and nobody knows about it. I've never really told anyone because I've got quite a religious family, and I think if I told them they wouldn't understand, or the relationship would be a bit ruined. And I've never told my friends just because I don't know how they'd react, and I don't want to lose friends over it.
Was there a moment for you, Michael, where you realised you wanted to change your life, you wanted to change things?
Yeah, there was a big moment in my life. I was arrested at gunpoint, put in prison with my father, and there was a moment in the prison cell when I'd had enough. And I knew about recovery and the 12-step program, but there was a poignant moment in my life when I knew that there was something far greater than me which helped me recover. And now I try to put something back by working with all sorts of people who suffer with mental health issues, addictions. You know, I've seen both sides of the coin, and you know, I'm happy to do what I do today from the experiences I gained from being in the dark side, and now I work in the light.
Nobody knows that I was in a relationship with a girl when I was younger. That was a good relationship, to be honest, but yeah, no one knows that we were together. People still don't know we were together. So this is my first time telling you lot. Nobody knows. I'm just realising no one knows I was with a girl.